Beth Dutton and Rip Wheeler are back. And honestly, after everything they went through in 5 seasons of Yellowstone, after every fight, every loss, every moment we were not sure they were going to make it, watching them finally get a show of their own is something I have been waiting for since the minute Yellowstone ended. Let's talk about what Dutton Ranch is, where Beth and Rip are heading, who they are going up against, and most importantly, exactly when you can watch it. Because the premiere date just dropped and it is a lot sooner than I expected. First, the big news. Dutton Ranch premieres on Friday, May 15th. 2 episodes on day 1. That is right. Yellowstone Sundays are now Yellowstone Fridays, and I honestly cannot wait. So what is this show actually about? When Yellowstone ended, Beth and Rip left Montana behind and set out to build something new, something that belonged entirely to them. And Dutton Ranch picks up exactly where that left off. Except instead of Montana, they are heading to South Texas. And I have to say, the idea of Beth Dutton in South Texas is one of the most exciting things I have heard in a long time. The official synopsis says that as Beth and Rip fight to build a future together, far from the ghosts of Yellowstone, they will collide with brutal new realities and a ruthless rival ranch that will stop at nothing to protect its empire. In South Texas, blood runs deeper, forgiveness is fleeting, and the cost of survival might just be your soul. I read that and I genuinely got chills. Because that is exactly the kind of stakes this show needs to feel worthy of what came before it. And Carter is back. Finn Little is back. The kid who stole every single scene he was ever in on Yellowstone. Watching Beth and Rip fight to make him the man he is meant to be while also fighting for their own survival in this brutal new world. I honestly do not know how I am going to handle all of that in one season. Now let's talk about who they are going up against, because this is where Dutton Ranch goes from good to something potentially extraordinary. Annette Bening plays Beulah Jackson, the head of the rival ranch. Powerful, cunning, charming, and absolutely ruthless about protecting what is hers. And in the teaser trailer, we already get to see her sitting face to face with Beth Dutton, talking about the beauty and frailty of a family's legacy. 2 of the most formidable women in television right now in the same room together. I honestly do not know who to be more afraid of. This rivalry alone is worth the entire season. And then there is Ed Harris as Everett McKinney, a weathered veteran and veterinarian who Beth will encounter as early as episode 2. Every scene that has been released with Ed Harris in it already feels like it carries the entire weight of the Texas landscape behind it. I cannot wait to see what his character means for Beth and Rip's story. The rest of the new cast is just as exciting. Juan Pablo Raba plays Joaquin. J.R. Villarreal plays Azul. Jai Courtney plays Rob Will. And Natalie Allen Lynn plays Oriana, who we already know will share scenes with Carter in episode 2. That detail alone has me very curious about where Carter's story goes this season. Now here is what makes Dutton Ranch feel genuinely different from everything else in this universe. Marshall's is Casey's story, and it is a procedural, a case of the week show with law enforcement at its center. Dutton Ranch is something else entirely. It is a war story. 2 people who already survived the worst thing imaginable, losing the Yellowstone Ranch, losing John, losing everything they built, walking into a brand new battlefield and refusing to lose again. The showrunner Chad Feehan has described this as a show where blood runs deeper than land. And in South Texas, with a rival like Beulah Jackson breathing down their necks, I believe every word of that. The director and executive producer Christina Alexandra Voros, who is directing the premiere and the season finale, said something in an interview that I have not stopped thinking about. She said there is so much potential in having all of these spin-offs exist in the same universe, which means a Dutton Ranch and Marshall's crossover is very much on the table. I am honestly not ready for that moment, but I want it more than I can say. Here is how to watch. Dutton Ranch premieres Friday, May 15th with 2 episodes on Paramount Plus. Available from midnight Pacific time, which is 3 a.m. Eastern time for anyone who absolutely cannot wait until morning. And for those watching on Paramount Network, the 2-episode premiere begins at 8 p.m. Eastern time on May 15th. After that, new episodes drop every Friday through the 9-episode season 1 finale. And the good news is you do not need to have watched Marshall's first. Both shows stand completely on their own while existing in the same world. I have been watching Yellowstone since the beginning. I watched it build from a show people quietly loved into the most watched drama in television history. And now we get Beth Dutton in South Texas, going to war with Annette Bening, with Rip Wheeler at her side and Carter growing up in front of our eyes. The cost of survival might just be your soul. I think that is exactly right. And I think this is going to be one of the best things the Yellowstone universe has ever done. May 15th cannot come soon enough. Drop a comment and tell me, are you more excited for Dutton Ranch or Marshall's? And what do you think Beth is going to do the first time Beulah Jackson tries to take something from her? Because if we know Beth Dutton at all, and I think we do, the answer is going to be spectacular.